Hello friends, subscribers and new viewers of this channel, and welcome to Machine Learning and AI Tutorials. In this tutorial we explain how to install and run locally RAGFlow with local large language models as well as with embedding models that are running in Ollama. That is, in this tutorial you will learn how to install and host your own local RAG AI system completely for free on a Linux Ubuntu computer. In the next tutorial I will explain how to install and run RAGFlow on a Windows computer. One of the main advantages of RAGFlow is that it is distributed under Apache 2.0 license, which is a very permissive license, allowing even for commercial use. Furthermore, you can embed most popular large language models such as Llama, Mistral, DeepSeek, Gemini, ChatGPT, and others. In this tutorial, I will use Llama 3.2 models and a simple text embedding model in order to demonstrate how to install and use RAGFlow. The only issue I see with RAGFlow is that its installation is far from trivial. You need to carefully install several components and packages and configure them properly in order to be able to use RAGFlow. But once you install RAGFlow, it is very simple to use it. Also, there might be several errors that you need to resolve during the installation process, which are not strictly due to the RAGFlow, but instead due to the Linux configuration. Before we explain how to install RAGFlow locally, we will first give a brief demonstration. Namely, first of all, we created a knowledge base. Here it is. It's called History. Let's open this knowledge base. This knowledge base consists only of a single PDF document, and this is done only for demonstration purposes. You can upload many PDF documents, even books, papers, scientific articles, graphs, images, audio files, or even movies. However, for movies you will need a different large language model and the embedding model. However, that's also possible. Now, let me show you the PDF document. Here it is. I downloaded this PDF document from Wikipedia. It's an article about Constantine the Great. Constantine the Great was one of the greatest Roman emperors. Okay, so to build this knowledge base, we will just add a file, then we'll locate the file we want and we will add them. After that, we will just run an embedding model that will embed the text in an appropriate form that our large language model can understand and read. After we do that, we need to create a chat agent, and we need to specify in the chat agent what is the type of the model we're using. In my case, I'm using Llama 3.2 large language model to communicate with my database. And to show you that we are actually retrieving information from our database, I will ask this question. What is the file you are currently using for Constantine the Great? And let's ask our large language model, that is our chat assistant, and it will give you this file over here. That is the model, that is the RAG system, will be able to retrieve the references even. And then you can ask simple questions. Who was Constantine the Great? And then the answer will be generated in real time. And this information is actually retrieved from this document over here. However, the large language model can also use its general database. That is, the model is trained on a large amount of information, and now you're augmenting this information with the new information provided in this PDF file. Most likely, even this PDF file is used to train large language model. However, you can add some additional files. You can add your own private books, papers, scientific articles, reports, or any other document. Before we start with explanations, here is one additional comment. The general suggestion is to run RAGFlow on a computer with a decent GPU. Although you can run RAGFlow on a CPU, the performance will be much better on a computer with a GPU. In my case, I'm running the model on NVIDIA 3090 GPU and on a computer with 64 GB of RAM and Intel i9 processor. And as you can see over here, once the database is formed, the model works perfectly, almost in real time. However, over here I'm running a smaller model. However, the performance will be still okay and acceptable even if I'm running a larger model. Okay, let's start with installation. First of all, you need to have Docker Engine installed on your system. To install Docker Engine, either watch the tutorial I created, here is the tutorial, and its link will be provided in the description below this video. Or you can go to the official Docker website and search for install Docker Engine on Ubuntu and go to this web page and go over the installation instructions. These installation instructions are actually explained in this video tutorial. After you install Docker, let's verify that the Docker is running. To run the Docker, open Terminal and over here type Docker. And if you see this generic reply and response, this means that Docker is properly installed on your system and you can continue watching this video tutorial. Here's the GitHub page of RAGFlow. This GitHub page contains partial installation instructions. Now, besides these installation instructions over here, we will have to perform several additional steps that I will explain in this video tutorial. In addition to all this, there will be some errors that you will also experience. Namely, you will see that some ports are not free and then we will have to free the ports, and all these things are actually not explained over here. The installation instruction on this web page look very simple. However, in reality, the things are not so simple. To help you with installation, I will create a post and a web page that will explain all the installation instructions. So first of all, whenever you want to install something, you need to update and upgrade all the packages. Consequently, run these two commands. Enter your password and wait until everything is being updated and upgraded. The next step is to install Git. Git is very important since Git will enable you to download the remote repository of RAGFlow. To install Git, you need to execute this command. Next, you need to install curl. And verify that curl is installed by running this command. And if you see this generic reply with the curl version, this means that curl is properly installed on your system. Next, you need to install Git for large files. To do that, you need to execute these two commands. I will provide the link to these commands in the description below. First of all, execute this command. It might take a while to execute this. And then finally you need to execute this command. And this will install Git support for large files. Next, we need to verify the value of one system parameter. Consequently, type this. And in my case, this is the value. This value should be larger than this number over here. And if that's the case, then you don't need to do additional steps. In my case, this number is larger than this number and consequently I don't need to do any additional step. However, in your case, if this number is smaller than this number, then you need to increase the number that you can see over here. Let's learn how to do that. To do that, you need to execute this command over here. Here it is. And you need to specify this minimal value. That is this value over here. However, if you restart your computer, the value will be returned to the default value, and consequently you need to edit an additional file such that every time you restart your computer, the correct number is being loaded. That is, this number becomes equal to the default value. To do that, you need to edit this file over here. And in this file, at the end, you need to add this number. That is this line. This line will set the value of this number to be equal to this number, such that every time you restart the computer, you don't need to run this command again. So in my case, everything is fine, so I will skip this step. Let me exit from here, and that's it. The next step is to go to the home folder and to clone the remote repository. To clone the remote repository, we need to type this command, or you can type git clone, and then you can simply copy this address. However, I'm just going to paste this command over here. And this command will download all the files and folders from this repository. A new folder will be created called RAGFlow, and then we will navigate to that folder. Next, let's navigate to the new folder, and let's check that all the files and folders are downloaded. Here they are. These files and folders are the exact copies of the files and the folders given over here. The next step is to verify the current version of RAGFlow. Namely, if you go to the official GitHub page and if you scroll down, you should see this table. And you can see that the current version is 0.16.0. This is the stable release. Consequently, before we can proceed, we need to run this command, git checkout, and we need to specify the correct version, and we need to write it down over here. Okay, after we do that, we can proceed further to run Docker Compose. Docker Compose will download everything and it will install everything. Most likely, first time you run this command, you will see an error, and I will explain the error later on. If you don't see the error, it's perfectly fine, even better. However, most likely, in my case, I will see an error and I will explain how to fix that error. So let's run this command. Now let's see what's happening. We are downloading something. There is a MySQL, there is RAGFlow, then there is Mini.io, and there is ES01. And consequently, you need to wait until everything is downloaded. It might take even 5 minutes to download everything. And after some time, you will see that these containers are being created. These are actually Docker containers. And here it is. Here is the error I was talking about. Now, a lot of people might stop over here and just give up, because honestly speaking, even for me, it took maybe 4 or 5 hours to figure out how to solve this error. So what's the issue over here? Let's read. Failed to bind port, here's the port, error starting userland proxy, listen, address already in use. So to fix this issue, we first need to install NetTools. To do that, run this, okay? Then after this, you need to type this to see what is using this port, and you can see on my computer all the programs that are using this particular port. Now, currently my web browser is open and this is understandable, so consequently over here I'm seeing that these things are using the ports, that is the Firefox. However, here I have Apache. So let's kill Apache. To kill Apache 2, we can simply run this, and this will stop Apache. And then let's verify what's running currently. Good. Now what I will do, I will close this web browser, and then again I will do this. Of course, you can use web browser later on. However, make sure that when you run this command that everything is being closed and that you kill Apache 2 or anything that's using this particular port. Okay, now once we do that, let's repeat the command. So let's do it again. And now let's start the RAGFlow. To start the RAGFlow, we need to execute this command. This will start the RAGFlow server. And here it is. Okay. Now, how to open RAGFlow and how to use it? That's a very good question. Now, scroll down until you find this address and copy this address. Then open a web browser, and in this web browser paste this address and erase last 4 numbers and just leave 127.0.0.1. That is, these are zeros, and press enter. And this is the address that will be used to start RAGFlow. Since this is the first time you're starting RAGFlow, you need to sign up. And over here, enter your email address. Note over here that you're not registering online, you're just registering on your local computer. And then over here, click on continue and just sign in. And here you are. I'm not going to save this, and we are running RAGFlow. Good. The next step is to install Ollama such that we can run large language models locally. For that purpose, we need to install Ollama by using Docker containers. Now, you need to go to this website. I will provide a link to this website, and then you need to scroll all the way down until you find NVIDIA GPU. The first step is to install NVIDIA Container Toolkit. So open this link, and you need to copy this command, open a new terminal, and paste. And enter your password. Then you need to run this, copy this. Here, if you see this error, you need to do sudo. Then you need to update. And then finally you need to copy this. Okay. Next, you need to configure everything. To configure everything, you need to execute this command. Now, and then you need to restart Docker. You can do it like this. Okay, this might also affect this execution of the program over here, and consequently, before you do that, make sure that you press Ctrl+C and then go over here and then restart the Docker. Otherwise, this command will not be able to be executed. Okay, now you can also close RAGFlow, since we will open RAGFlow later on. Okay, the next step is to install Ollama by using Docker. For that purpose, go to this original website, copy this command, go to this terminal, and execute this command. And this will download Ollama and install Ollama as a Docker container. It might take a while to download everything. And after some time you will see this message. This means that you have properly installed Ollama. The next step is to download and install 2 models. To do that, go to the Ollama website and search for Llama 3.2. In this video tutorial, I'm going to use Llama 3.2 as a base large language model. However, you can also experiment with other models. And the most important part is given over here. However, you cannot just execute this command. You need to modify it. And here's the modification. In front of the command, that is, here it is, you need to type this, docker execute with this parameter and with Ollama, and that's it. Consequently, execute this, and this command will actually download and install the model, and it will test it. So let's run this and let's be patient. it's going to take a while to download the model. And in my case, it was quick since the model is already cached in my case. And let's test the model and let's ask a question. Who are you? Let's see. Okay, good. Let's exit the model. Let's verify that the model exists. We can do it like this. Docker exit it. Then you call Ollama. And then let's call Ollama list to see all the models over here. And here it is. The next step is to download the embeddings model. Namely, in addition to large language model, we also need an embedding model that will create our database. In this video tutorial, I'm using this model, and to find information about that model, just search for the model name. Here it is, and here's the installation command. Modify this installation command by adding this part over here. However, you can also try some other models. If you search embedding, you will see this one over here, which is super popular, as well as the other one, this one. This might be the most popular model. Okay, let's stick with the model I selected. To download this model, you just need to type this. Now, in my case, the model is already downloaded, since you can see it over here. However, in your case, it's going to be downloaded and installed. And again, type this command to list all the models. And here they are. We have both the large language model and the embedding model, and we can continue. Next, let's verify that Ollama model can be accessed from RAGFlow. To do that, first of all, execute this command and then type this. And as the response, we should get this: Ollama is running, and that's a good sign, and we can continue. This means that RAGFlow recognized Ollama. Next, we need to restart the RAGFlow since we pressed Ctrl+C in the original window. To do that, click here and again type this command. So let's wait for a while. And here it is. And let's verify that everything is running by making sure that this command gives an expected response. Here it is. Good. Now we can go back and we can restart the RAGFlow. To restart the RAGFlow, again, you need to go to this address and you are back. So let's configure the RAGFlow. First of all, click over here. Select your username, keep it as it is, and let's click Add Model Providers. Now, over here, I'm going to erase this default model. So I will click here, click on Yes, and let's start from scratch. Let's add Ollama. Click over here, and first of all, let's add the chat model. The chat model is our large language model. And over here you need to enter the model name. The model name should precisely correspond to the name of the model you downloaded. So let's find that name. To see the precise model names, go back to the terminal and over here type this command and you will see the model names. So let's copy this model name. Go here, make sure the chat is selected, paste the model name, and over here we need to provide the base URL. That is the address. To find the address, go back to the terminal, then over here, go to this window, and here is the address. Copy this address over here. And paste this address over here. We don't need the API key, and let's provide max number of tokens. For example, put 100,000. The number really doesn't matter, and click OK. And over here you will see that the model is modified. So you can see show more models, and you can see that we have Ollama model as a chat. So let's add a new model. To add the model, simply click over here. Now, let's add the embedding model. Let's erase this. And let's go back over here. Copy this name. This is the name of the model. And again, you need to specify the URL. Go over here and copy this address. And paste it over here. Max number of tokens. Let's again put a large number and click OK. And now we have both models. We have the embedding and we have the chat model, and we can continue. Next, click on System Model Settings and select the chat model and the embedding model and click on OK. And we're all set. The next step is to create a knowledge base. In my case, I'm going to use only a single document. That is, I'm going to use this Wikipedia document. However, in your case, you can use any PDF file or even a book. However, my suggestion is to start with a smaller file. I'm going to save this file as a PDF file. To do that, I'm going to press Ctrl P and I'm going to save it as PDF on my desktop. And then let's verify on the desktop that the file exists. Here it is. Good. Next, let's go back to the RAGFlow. Here in RAGFlow, we need to create a knowledge base. To create the knowledge base, click here, and I'm going to erase, let me just go back here. Let me just erase this old document. Okay, so to create the knowledge base, click here, and let's call this knowledge base as History2, and press OK. And over here, you can adjust the name, you can adjust the document language, you can adjust the permissions, and here's a very important thing. You need to select the embedding model. Make sure that the embedding model is selected. Let's keep the general chunk method to be by default. Let's not play with these parameters over here, and let's leave everything as it is. And over here, we are not going to change anything. Consequently, click on Save. Good. The next step is to add file. To add file, click here, click on Local Files, and click here, and let's find the file we just downloaded. Click OK, Open, OK, and let's wait. Now, the file is being loaded. However, you need to run retrieval. Next, we need to parse this document. To parse this document, zoom out such that you can see this button over here, or you can simply press here and then click on parse and the file will be parsed. Now you can see the status over here. Currently it's less than 1%, and you need to be patient since it's going to take a while to parse this document depending on how fast is your computer and your GPU. Okay, we can see it's already 3%, and it might take 1 minute or 2 minutes to parse everything. Consequently, let's be patient. And after several minutes, you will see this message success. This means that this document is properly parsed. Okay, the next step is to create a chat and a chat agent. So click here on chat and click on create an assistant. Let's call the assistant as Alex. Let's select the knowledge bases to be history 2. Here you can play with some other parameters. However, I'm not going to play with this, and let's click on model settings and you'll see that automatically Llama 3.2 is selected. Over here you can play with the temperature, top P, presence penalty, frequency penalty, and max tokens. So let's increase the maximum number of tokens, for example, to 6,000. And let's click OK. And let's now click here to create a new chat, and let's ask, who are you? And let's see what's happening. Now you will see this response. Beautiful. And then let's ask, Who was Constantine the Great? Let's see, and bank, and here it is. Beautiful. This system is actually using the information from this file, and you can ask all sorts of questions. You can add other files, you can even add images, graphs, tables, etc. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I'm creating, please press the like and subscribe buttons, and see you in the next video tutorial.